Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. And today we will talk about why we fail to exploit our strengths and weaknesses. I'd like to know your answer in the comments below. And before we begin, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to slowly grow your problem-solving mindset. Now, let's get started. I've broken this question of why we struggle to exploit our strengths and weaknesses into three separate factors. And today, we will specifically focus on the first part, or factor number one, its root causes, and 2 tips to fix these root causes. And so factor number one of why we fail to exploit our strengths and weaknesses is because we are not fully aware of what our strengths and weaknesses are. See, you don't have to be good at everything, but knowing what you are versus are not good at is where many people struggle to understand about themselves. And to understand this better, let's dive into the first root cause of why we don't happen to know our strengths and weaknesses in the first place, which is because of the fact that we often try our best to be politically correct in circumstances where our strengths and weaknesses are questioned, right? For example, during job interviews, many times we are asked about what our strengths and weaknesses are, and we try to say the politically correct things in order to land the job. But if you ask yourself this question to truly know yourself, the answers might be completely different, right? But to fix this root cause, the first tip that I'll share is that it's okay to be politically correct in interviews for some people, but if your own self doesn't know that in your own comfort zone, let's say in your own bedroom and during your own leisure, you are most comfortable to be honest with yourself in those settings, right? So I want you to be 100% honest and ask yourself, what makes me so valuable? Because then you'll know who you really are, and that will help you be yourself in front of others and come across as authentic as possible. Now let's look at the second root cause of why we may be unaware of our own strengths and weaknesses is perhaps because we often spend less time thinking about our weaknesses because subconsciously we tend to protect our own feelings. But being honest and listing our own weaknesses help us prepare on where to improve and how to leverage our strengths in the most effective ways. And my second tip to fix this root cause is that please pause this video and type 3 things you think are your strengths and 3 things that you struggle with, and put it in the comments below or on your personal notebook so that you can take a quick minute to reflect and think where you are with your current skills, right? Because you have to know that before you can start improving it. And writing it down is the best way that you can help yourself with. And these are the pieces that make up the first factor. Now, in the second part, or part 2, we will discuss the second factor, its root causes, and 2 additional tips. But before we move forward, I have one question for you. Do you know your strengths and weaknesses? And if so, what is your biggest strength and biggest weakness? I want you to think about it and leave a comment below. Now, consider subscribing to the channel to keep formulating your approach about more problem-solving questions. I'll see you in the next exercise.